Your word is magic. Watch what you speak. It'll take you to heights and depths so deep with all that you think.
I brought out my Newton's cradle today because I thought this really is a very simple way of showing what we're talking about. We have a thought and we send the thought out and it creates an impact. Hello, thank you for coming back to monkeychimonkeydoo.com for our big reveal video. I also want to send my huge thanks to the 400 people around the world who've been joining us the past 30 days for our thought and rice experiment. We've had people from Lithuania, Belarus, New Zealand, England, my family in England, and of course the United States where I live, Canada, Ireland. We just thank you all so much for participating, for sharing your comments and emails with us, and we're excited to be sharing the results with you today. On our website, we have a list of resources. If you're interested in learning more about the power of thoughts and seeing different experiments, examples, there are numerous studies, and I've compiled a few resources that you may want to check out. There's a couple of books that you may enjoy reading, and there's an interview with Lynn McTaggart, who wrote The Intention Experiment. There are many different scientific experiments that have been done around the world using the power of thought to see how it affects reality. There was a study that was done in 2002 by the Cleveland Clinic at the Lerner Institute. They studied a group of people on the effects that thought would have on muscle mass. The muscles that they studied were the people's small fingers, their pinky fingers, and their elbows. Each day for 12 weeks, the people in the study just sent thoughts for 15 minutes about strengthening their muscle in their pinky finger and in their elbow. After 12 weeks, they looked at the groups, and the people who sent thoughts, who didn't actually do any exercises, just with the power of thought, increased the muscle mass in their pinky fingers by 35%, and in their elbows, they increased the flexor muscle in the elbow, the muscle mass there, by 13%. Now, I'm not sharing that with you because I believe that we shouldn't do exercise, but basically, those people didn't do any exercise. They just used the power of their thoughts to increase their muscle mass. So it just suggests how, through this study, how our physical reality, our bodies even, can be influenced by the way we think. Please, if you're not on my website, go out to monkeychimonkeydoo.com, and you'll see on the rice experiment page a list of resources for more information so the conversation can keep going in your home. Welcome to the Big Reveal video. Thanks so much for coming back to check out the big reveal for our thought and rice experiment. We have been doing this experiment for 30 days. We're now actually at the 40-day mark, and you'll see visually the rice has changed quite dramatically over the past 40 days.
This is the I love you jar. We sent positive, happy thoughts to this jar, such as I love you and you are sweet. This is the you are gross jar. We sent mean and negative thoughts to this jar, such as you are gross and you are ugly.
This is the ignore jar. We didn't send any thoughts about ignoring the jar. If you look online, you can find a lot of other rice and thought experiment videos. The thing that we noticed, however, though, was there was just a visual comparison of each of the jars. What we did at 30 days was we actually smelled each of the rice jars, and we noticed a huge difference in the jars.
This jar, it smelled kind of like cooked carrots that had been left out overnight for a couple days. This jar smelled kind of like sour milk or rotten food, and it changed pinkish and orangish and kind of brownish. It looks kind of jello-y, like it jiggles around kind of like Jello would if you bang it down hard if you move it around.
The ignore jar, the thing that we noticed the most about this jar when we smelt it was that it smelled the nastiest of all three. It smelled really putrid. And the visual difference that we notice is that the liquid has separated from the rice the most. In the You Are Gross jar, some of the liquid separated from it. And in the I Love You jar, the whole thing kind of liquefied, but it's not actually, the water didn't actually separate from the rice. If you were to intellectually think about 3 jars of rice degrading over 30 days, you would think that visually and for your olfactory, for your smell sense, that they would be comparable, that they would all look the same. But our experiment has gone to show us that our thoughts can actually change the matter, the rice, over the 30-day period. We hope if you're curious about this experiment that you won't just take our word for it, that you'll try it in your own homes. But please come back and tell us about your experiment. We also hope that, as in the words of my dear friend Cecilia St. King, that you remember how your word is magic.
Your word is magic. Watch what you speak. It'll take you to heights and